It is like over 100 degrees outside, and I'm burning up, and my camera battery's almost dead, but we're gonna get through this. So, I believe I have entered into what you would call, right, a reading slump. Because I had all these really good ideas that I wanted to read, starting off with the main guy here. Well, actually, this is the first one I was reading that I still need to get through for school. But this is the thing that's really been a thorn in my side, because I was going to make a video about this book, but I am only this far in, and it is so unbelievably hard to get through. Like, the movie was one thing, because the movie's an hour and a half, but reading like a 600-page book where every page they mention his eyes, I can't do it. And I'm trying to, and like, if I had a whole lot of time to read it, that's fine. But I've been doing this, or at least most of the books, over the span of like my first, why does my hair look like that? Over like the span of my first week or so back at school. So it's been a struggle trying to find something that's like, because I've been I'm like trying to be studious, so I'm trying to find something that's like good, but also like maybe not like the most complex thing, because I'm like, if all my homework is hard, why not read an easy book? But then maybe that's where like my problems come into, right? Because here's where we're at. So this one I had to read for school, and I'm like a third of the way done. I'm done with part 1, and I really like it, but I looked up spoilers, right? And I don't, and it like, and the way it's going, it's gonna send me into emotional distress, to put it lightly. Like, I know with how R.F. Kuang writes her books, that they are so well written, but they are also so like deep, and I don't know if I've got that in me. And then the second book, as I've already discussed, is The Tearsmith, which, oh boy, I originally watched a movie, so that's why I really wanted to read this book. But books and movies are different things, let me tell you. Like, this is, again, like 550 pages roughly, and it is so long. And it's just not my cup of tea, to put it lightly. So then here's the 2 books I bought, which I have really wanted to read for a long time, and I like it, but I don't know what it is with me. I can't finish them. So we got Apprentice to the Villain. I loved Assistant to the Villain, which is the first one. And I really want to continue the series. I do, but then for whatever reason, I don't want to read, even though I know I love the first book, and I'm almost guaranteed at least 3 stars of this second book, and it's not super long, and the words aren't large, so you think this would be a nice little, my God, my dang! So you would think this would be like a nice little catalyst to get me back into the groove of reading, but no, I put that one down, and then I picked up Neon Gods, which, like, big jumping around here in genre-wise, and Neon Gods is, like, I've heard good things from, like, my friends around the series, roughly. I can't really get into too much detail, and then I started reading it. Number one, they gave the guy a beard. Oh, not that big of a deal, but I had a specific vision in my mind about how Hades is supposed to look like in this world. The vision was not a full-blown beard. I gotta be honest. And I'm just so confused by this book in general, because it takes place in, like, Olympus. It's like a modern retelling of Olympus. But then it's also in, like, it's in the real world. Like, she lives on the real world, because she says she wants to go to California. So I'm like, okay, so is Olympus just kind of like, they call it a city here? But then, like, they're talking about them being gods, and I'm trying to think, do they actually have, like, powers, like the powers of gods? Or is it just kind of like, they're gods, but then they just, like, they aren't known to humans? Or, like, are they humans, and their just social system is, like, Olympus? And then, like, people, depending on the role, they can either get, like, elected into the role of the god, or, like, just get born into it. But then does that mean, like, if you're not currently in that role, but you're going to become it in the future, like, do you have an original name? Because they take on the names of, like, whatever gods they represent. But does that either mean, like, that their sons or their daughters have a different name, or they just don't name them because they're eventually going to take their spot? I'm sick. Or, like, so do they just not name them? Or do they have a name that's forgotten? And all these thoughts are running through my mind, right? And then I start thinking, I'm like, am I overthinking it? It's meant to be a stupid book. You're not meant to take it seriously. And I'm like, and I'm taking, like, deep consideration into the politics and the world building and, like, the characters and their history. And I just don't think it's meant to be that deep. Or now that I think about it, do they just, like, does the author just use, like, other mythology people? But in this world, I'm going back to it, I don't care. So in this world, if they're a thing, do other religions, like, exist? And if other religions do, are they, like, actually, like, physical manifestations, like how they're actual gods? Or is this just, like, or does it have nothing to do with religion in this book, and it's just, like, a fun little retelling? The thoughts are driving me crazy. And so I'm going through all these 4 books, all of them at least, like, 100 pages into, and I haven't been able to commit. Commitment issues. I don't know. Like, I know I would like the books if I could just continue reading them, but then I don't read it enough for myself to grow attached. So what was my solution to this is I've started reading another book. Now, this one is a little different. It's not fantasy, not romance. It is a romance. It's not fantasy, and it's not a fantasy romance. It's like, it's a classic. It's Jane Eyre. And actually, so far, I'm liking it pretty well. I mean, the text is quite tiny. I lost my bookmark, which is a sad, sad day. But the text is a little tiny, but I do like it. And maybe this is because this takes on a more serious, not so serious that I'm worried I'm gonna cry, but serious as in, it's a classic. It's got Old English, so I'm thinking, but then it's also a romance, so I'm not, like, incredibly bored out of my mind. And it's like based, it's not like fantasy, so it's not like some stupid plot world building that I'm trying to figure out. So maybe this is my solution. Or is the problem here that I should have realized from the first 4 books is maybe I just need to stick with one, and I need to, like, stop, like, book hopping. Right? Is that a thing? I'm sure it's a thing. And maybe I just need to power through one, and then I'd be good. But what if I power through one that I'm like, I don't want to read it, but then I force myself to read it, and then I'm even further into a reading slump? The choices. So, like, my goal, like, August in my current time is, like, August is almost over. And I'm not a person who has, like, who enjoys, like, reading several books at one time. I don't necessarily like that, especially not 5. So I really want to, like, by September, especially in September, start clearing these things up. If I haven't gotten out of my reading slump yet, I mean, something's going to happen. If in a month I'm not out of a reading slump, I've got to take action, and I can't just leave these books all sitting around, and I don't want to put it on my shelf, because then if I put it on my shelf, I'm going to forget to read it. If I forget to read it, then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to see the sticky note, and then I'm going to have to reread it from the start, because I'm not going to remember what happened, because I was trying to also remember the plots of 5 other books at the same time, and I am rambling right now, but this is a serious matter, right? And because of this so serious matter, I forgot to, like, record or upload whatever earlier because I just couldn't read anything, because this was going to be it. But then there was just no way on top of school I was getting this done on time. And I am late to uploading. And this is kind of not the most complex thing, because I'm not even actually reading at this point. This is just talking about some books I'm reading and talking very fast. I need to calm down, number one. But and number two, like I said though, even though I'm late, let's be honest, no one's really watching these, right? So I'm sure if there's like 3 people out there watching this at the current time, you'll understand. I hope you understand. Please understand. I don't know what to do. I don't like reading slumps. I enjoy reading. Reading's my pastime. But then I don't understand, if I enjoy it, why can't I do something I enjoy? Why is my body not letting me enjoy it? And then instead it's making me the opposite of enjoy when I'm reading. What's the opposite of enjoy? Like, just not hate, but just not like. I don't know. Whatever this is, this needs to be resolved quickly. I really would like to finish the Tier Smith. Because even if I don't like the book, it's a wild ride, to say the least. So at the very least, I'm gonna have quite the story to tell. That's my dog. I got 2 dogs, and he's barking. I think that's his way of telling me that this video is over and I need to stop talking. So, yeah, I'm done. Bye.